Here we go. I'm not good enough.
What?
I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
Your mindset approach to limiting beliefs is not working, or not working anymore. If you notice that, there's good news and better news. The good news, you came close to something real, the root. And the better news, I know exactly why your mindset practices are not working and how to fix that. Even if it feels like your outdated beliefs are living in your mind rent-free, there is a way out. Watch till the end, and I'll give you a very simple 4-step framework to rewire your mind for new, limitless beliefs. So why is your mindset work not enough? There are limiting beliefs that are kind of laying on the surface. They're just thoughts. You started thinking them at some point, and then it's really easy to rewrite them. You start journaling a little bit, you understand that they're ridiculous, and then you stop perceiving them as your truth. Surface level beliefs live in your conscious mind, but there is a kind of belief that keep returning no matter how much work you do to uproot them. Affirmations, journaling, even therapy, all of that is like a little blow to a massive rock. These are core limiting beliefs. They are not just thoughts. That's why mindset work cannot fix them. And core limiting beliefs usually come from some early life experience that our minds received as dangerous or confusing. This is why classic psychology loves trauma work. Everybody can be a client. There's something in our past that was not properly processed and that created some sort of survival system response. The problem is that most trauma therapies focus on the event or the story or the feeling tied to that event, rarely all at once. The most common solution is to shift perspective, relieve trauma and understand it. But you can spend years dancing around your traumatic event, relieving that pain and writing checks to industry that wants to keep you stuck in the never-ending loop of pain. Meanwhile, you can break free without ever reliving the painful memories. Here's the truth. Your dearest trauma isn't really an issue. The damage happens when trauma makes our mind take the wrong turn, where it gets stuck in some stories it creates to make sense of what happened. And those stories shape up our internal narrative. And the most importantly, at the moment of the event, not only the stories get created, but they also get attached to our bodies through emotional response, because emotions are physical. But these stories, not only they are not true, but sometimes they don't even have logical connection to the event. But that's how our minds work. And the reason is those stories are created as the survival response. Okay, let's talk about the survival blueprint. Our survival blueprint only understands survival, and not even your own survival, but survival of our species. When we come across something emotional that we can't understand or properly process, our survival blueprint flips on a biological survival mechanism designed to do only one thing: to protect you at all costs. This survival mechanism doesn't care about your goals, about your joy, about your plans, or your potential. It doesn't care that we need pain sometimes for growth. It only cares about one thing: not dying. Limiting beliefs are emotions entangled in stories. They are protective mechanisms wired into your biology, and they will run your life unless you make a deliberate effort to dismantle them. So why do these stories that we create in the moment of trauma sometimes don't make sense for that particular event? Survival blueprint is incredibly smart, and the system keeps evolving. It doesn't just give us orders: don't touch the hot skillet, don't put a fork in the electrical outlet. It creates stories and narratives that prevent us from even thinking of being somebody or doing something that can put us in a dangerous situation. Those stories sound like all men are liars, women only want me for my money, I can't be a leader, I'll never be successful. So now when we know what they are with the awareness and willpower, can we deal with them? Not so fast. So here's where many deep feelers like you and I run into the same wall. We do the mental work and we use our willpower to sustain that work, to fight that inner voice that we are so sick and tired of. We journal, meditate, exercise, do breath work, read tarot, drink ayahuasca, and some other substances. Back to journaling, only to spring back when we feel tired, wobbly. Back to the same exact point where we started. Because our willpower has limits. The survival blueprint doesn't. So here's the trap. When we find ourselves back at the starting point, when we see that nothing is working, the biggest trap is to start thinking that we are broken beyond repair. And that is the most dangerous belief of them all. But the best news is this is not true. Just like all of those beliefs are not true. We are not broken. We are just using the wrong tools. I promised you that I'll give you 4 steps to completely rewire your limiting beliefs. Here they are. Works of Peter Levine, Gabor Mate, Pat Ogden, Deb Dana, Andrew Huberman, Richard Schwartz, Antonio Damasio, Brené Brown, and of course Pete Walker. Their work points to the idea that limiting beliefs are not thoughts, and they must be treated at the subconscious and somatic level. They are not just cognitive errors, they are nervous system rules. I have integrated their approaches into this practical method. I call it D4 method because all of the steps start with the D. First step, detect. At this step, we find the core belief. Like, for example, a belief that I'm not persuasive as a manager can have a core limiting belief that sounds like I'm not needed in this world. That's how the survival blueprint works. It creates this dramatic narrative that is hard to argue with. There is a way to map the surface level thoughts and stories to the core limiting beliefs. The detect step helps you exactly do that, to map your thoughts and stories to the very core limiting belief. So the second step is a dissection. We go dissect and analyze where is the story from, which part of the body did it latch onto, which sensations, emotions are connected to it. So this step locates the belief in your nervous system. Step number 3 is deconstruct. This is where we question the belief, and not just logically. We go deep onto the survival level and talk to our subconscious, talk to our shadow side, talk to our inner self. They could be protectors, critics, they could be inner child or inner parent, whatever voices are there, we talk to all of them. And the next very important step is the 4th D. It's a discharge. That's where we release the old belief from the system, but it's not that simple, because when something goes amiss, the survival system starts ringing a bell. Something is missing. There's a hole in the protective wall. We need to fill it. So not only we are taking out the limiting beliefs that is not working, but we are also replacing it with a new construct. There's a prep work to make sure that our survival system is prepared to accept that exchange. The D4 method requires the entire survival response. And if you didn't know before, you can absolutely take control over your survival protocol. You need to be really smart about talking to your survival blueprint and working with your nervous system using power of agreement, negotiation, and love and understanding. You can take control over your survival blueprint. You have the power, you always did. You just didn't know it. But now you do. So what do you choose? Oh, by the way, if you want to learn more about the D4 method and how I implement it, I created a course, Believe You Deserve. There's a link in the description. It's a 9-week course where I walk you through gently through the whole process. And we take a lot of, I call them guided journeys. They're basically this deep dive into a conversation with your shadow self. We ask questions that we may never have asked ourselves. Go look at the webpage for Believe You Deserve. You can book a call with me. There's a link in my profile. Because what I described to you, it's not even a half of what we do in Believe You Deserve. It's amazing. It rewires your subconscious and nervous system very gently. Please subscribe to this channel if you found this video interesting, and like this video, please, so you can return to it and rewatch it and remind yourself that limiting beliefs are not thoughts. Talk to you later. Please subscribe to this channel if you like this video, because I'm gonna be posting much more. Please subscribe to this